What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey, and today we're going to talk about this NBA playoff Eastern Conference Finals Game 3 matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. All right, so this game will be played at 8:30 p.m. East Coast time. The line has opened. It opened up at like Boston minus 6.5. It has since moved to Indiana +8, I believe. Let's look. Yeah, +8, and then back down to +7.5. So it's got a lot of movement right now between the sharps and what's actually happening. But let's go ahead and let's get into this game and the series, and let's talk about what's been happening, man. A quick recap, right? So, game one, Boston Celtics won 133 to 128. All right, that game went into overtime. First quarter, Boston came out, won that quarter 34 to 31. Second quarter, Indiana won that quarter 33 to 30. So the Boston was up by like 1 point at that point at the half, and so that would make the Pacers have been covering. Third quarter, Boston comes out, scores 30 points. Pacers score 29. Fourth quarter, Boston comes out, only scores 23 points, and the Pacers score 24, which takes it into overtime. When they go to overtime, they went ahead and got outscored 16 to 11, man. Uh, like, after Jaylen Brown hit that three, and they made those two turnovers at the end of the fourth quarter, a lot of their momentum was sucked from them, honestly, and I can understand why. Those were crazy turnovers, crazy. All right, so Halliburton scored 25 points in that game, shooting 8 for 18. Three times he got to the free throw line. All right, now the Celtics got to the free throw line in a crazy amount of times in that game, but that's because the Pacers are like the most. They foul more than anybody else in the NBA, and the Celtics don't foul. All right, they don't foul. They foul the least. All right, out of every team in the NBA. So that's why you saw that disparity. So anyway, Jason Tatum scored 36 points. He shot 12 of 26, 10 of 12 from the free throw line. Pacers did shoot 53.5% from the field that game. Boston only shot 47.5%. Boston also only shot 33.3% from three, whereas the Pacers shot 37.1% from three. Problem is, Pacers turned the ball over 22 times in that game to the Boston Celtics 15 turnovers, man. Even though the Pacers did out rebound them 44 to 43, that didn't matter because of the amount of free throws that were shot, and the amount of fouls, and the amount of turnovers. You can't do it like that if you think you're going to win against a team like Boston. So that was game one. Then you get into game two, all right? That was just the other night, right? Uh, Boston won that game 126 to 110. They covered the 9, they covered the 10, they covered whatever you wanted to put with the Pacers. They covered it. All right. Team total did go over for Boston in that game, like I predicted. And yeah, let's get into this though. So, first quarter, Pacers scored 27 points, Boston scored 25. Second quarter, uh, Pacers only scored 24 points. Boston put out there and wrecked them, scored 32 points, went up at the half. And then it was pretty much over from there because in the third quarter, Boston came out, scored 36 points to the Pacers' 29 points. Then in the fourth quarter, Boston still outscored them again, 33 points to 30. But why was it over like that in the third quarter? Well, it's because Tyrese Halliburton went out. All right. Not only did he go out, the coach just seemed to, he never put his players back in the game after that. He just slowly started putting bench players in and just giving up. Like he put up the white flag. I don't really didn't understand why you would do that. I know that you want to get your players some rest, but at the same time, that's way early to be putting up that white flag. Just saying. All right. So anyway, in that game, Pascal Siakam scored 28 points, shooting 13 for 17 from the field, no free throws. Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown. And there's a narrative going around on why Jaylen Brown did this, but let's go through this real quick. Jaylen Brown scored 40 points, shooting 14 for 27 and 8 of 11 from the free throw line. Now, he matched a career playoff high with that 40 points, guys. All right, and on top of that, people saying he got snubbed from the All NBA team. He didn't make the first or second team in the All NBA team. Do I feel like he got snubbed? I mean, he plays the two. I really can't think of another two in the East that I would put there. I got to look at who they put on the list, obviously, but I don't know. I think he's one of the best twos in the league. He's like a real two. It's not like Kyrie playing the two. You know, he's a real two. You know, but at the end of the day, it's all politics with that stuff sometimes, man. Just being honest with you. You know. Anyway, Jaylen Brown came out there, did his thing. Pacers shot 52.4% from the field. You know, so like, and Boston shot 53.4% from the field. Like, once again, very even matchup there. Then you look at the 3 pointers, though. Boston shot 40.5% from three, guys. Whereas the Pacers shot 37.9. Okay, and they turned the ball over 16 times. Right, you can't turn the ball over 16 times to Boston's 12 times and think you're gonna compete in this series. I'm just saying, especially if you're gonna let Boston out rebound you 40 to 37. It's just not gonna work, man. It's not gonna work. So, talking about that narrative, right? And just to let you know his mindset, all right. Jaylen Brown said this. I mean, we're 2 games from the finals. So honestly, I don't got the time to give up about it. And, you know, so it is what it is. I mean, like, you can take that how y'all want to. That's exactly what that man said. That man said, look, I ain't even got time to worry about this because guess what? I might go get me a chip this year. I'm going to ring up. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. So, these two teams, as they've matched up in the last 10 times, Boston runs the series 7-3 straight up. Pacers are 6-4 against the spread, and it's 6 to the over, 4 to the under. Okay, this season alone, they played each other 7 times, guys. All right, out of the 7 times, the Pacers have only won twice. All right, and just to give you some facts about this, right? So, in the last 10 times these two teams played each other, Boston's averaging 127.8 points per game, whereas the Pacers are only averaging 117.2. Situationally, okay, that means Boston in Indiana and Indiana at home, Boston's averaging 125.8 points per game versus Indiana, and then the 5 times they played this season in Indiana, or yeah. In the last 4 times they played in Indiana, I'm sorry. So that goes back to 2022. All right. So Boston's averaging 125 points per game, whereas the Pacers are averaging 123.5 points. Okay. Now, if you look, let's just look at the last 4 times in this situation that they played. So they played in Indiana this year 3 times. If you have to get that 4th time, you have to go back to February 23rd of 2023, right? In those 4 times, okay, which is where I just got that 125.8 to 123.5, all right, situationally, they're 2-2. Okay, Boston has won 2, and the Pacers have won 2. Now, mind you, back on November 1st of 2023, this past season, Boston beat the brakes off of the Pacers, 155 to 104, okay. That was in Boston without Halliburton. The next time they played him without Halliburton, okay, was December 4th, okay, and the Pacers won that one. Just so you know, okay. So the Pacers without Halliburton are 4-1, okay, like on the season without Halliburton at home. On the road and home, they 7-6, okay, but they're 4-1, guys. All right, so take that with a grain of salt if you want to. You know what I mean? But these two teams, okay, that injury report is what is the most important thing to pay attention to. We all know they're saying he's questionable, all right, with left leg soreness or with that hamstring. But at the end of the day, even if he tries to go out there, I think they'll try to expose that. They definitely will try to expose that. Then we all know Porzingis is probable to come back in Game 4, but if they go ahead and they knock him out like they need to tonight, then he don't need to come back in Game 4. And that's even more motivation for why I believe that this thing might go a certain kind of way and play out a certain kind of way. Now, Luke Cornett is doubtful, dealing with that left wrist sprain. injury, and is not expected to be on the court against the Pacers in this game 3. That's a big loss. Okay, very big loss, because that's a big body that they like to put out there so that they don't always have to march Horford out there, guys. Just saying. Xavier Tillman is questionable. Remember, his father did pass, or a family member did pass, so that's why he has missed the games he has missed. I guarantee when he gets out there, he's going to be fired up for why he's here in the NBA and who he's representing. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Not to say he's going to go out there and score 30 points, 20 points, even 10, but he's definitely going to be inspired for this game. So watch out for Xavier Tillman. Now, let's just talk about situationally, right? Situationally in the playoffs, Boston's 4-0 on the road, and the Pacers are 6-0 at home. Okay, in the playoffs against the spread, the Pacers are 5-1 against the spread at home, and Boston is 3-1 against the spread in the playoffs in this situation. All right, now you also got to take into account the teams these guys were playing, right? So the Pacers have been playing hurt teams all playoffs. Like the Knicks were banged up, Milwaukee was banged up. Okay, then when you look at Boston played a banged up Miami and a banged up Cleveland. All right, both teams are playing banged up teams, man. So and then not just banged up teams who are offensively challenged. Let's just say it like that. All right, especially missing the key cogs that they were missing at certain points in their playoff battles. So that's why you got to kind of take that stuff with a grain of salt, understanding the situation, what was actually going on in time when it took place. All right, but anyway, so back to the situation, right? As a home underdog, Pacers are 8-3-1 against the spread on the year, right? Whereas the away favorite, Boston's 21-18-3. Okay, so you got to understand that this is a situation where the Pacers are still live. Like, even without Halliburton, they're still alive, but that's all dependent on how serious Boston is when they come out here. And I honestly think Boston has learned a lot from their opportunities that they have had in their past, playing against and making it to the finals and making it to the Eastern Conference Finals and not winning. I also think that they want to try to let it be known that they're going to give Porzingis some more time to rest, because he is going to be a key cog when you go out there and you play Dallas or you play Minnesota. Like, they got to have Porzingis out there. He unlocks Jason Tatum. He unlocks Jaylen Brown. He makes that thing unstoppable, in my personal opinion. I said it earlier in the year. So, I don't know. Let's keep going, though. So, if you look at over-under in this situation as an away favorite, of course, the Boston Celtics are 21-21. They just do what they want. Sometimes they'll play D, sometimes they won't. You know what I mean? But as a home underdog, the Pacers are 8 to the over, 4 to the under in that situation, guys. In the playoffs alone, Pacers have played 10 overs and 5 unders. Only 5 times have their games gone under so far this playoff. And Boston's played 7 to the over and 5 unders. All right, and remember this situation. When these guys have met the last 10 times, it's been 6 to the over, 4 to the under. They literally have played 1, 2, 3, 4 overs in a row, guys. Okay, the last time they played the under was back on January 6th, and it was 118 to 101. And that's the least amount of points that Boston will score against them. The least amount of points that Boston will score against them is 118. You have to go all the way back, okay, to December 21st of 2022, when Boston scored 112 points against them. Every other time, Boston's going to get to that team total, guys. I'm just saying that it's the easiest, cleanest lock in the series is to bet the Boston team total over, guys. Because Indiana's not going to play defense, man. That's the thing. Even when they try to play defense, they still don't really play defense, especially when you talk about a team like Boston. Now, yeah, Boston could come out lacking and be lackadaisical. But if they do that, then that means they're going to have to at least get to that number. because the Pacers will put up 120. If the Pacers put up 120, all right, then that means if Boston definitely put up the what is it? Team totals 113.5 or 115.5 some places. Like, yeah, yeah, and of course, if we all know the team total has moved down a little bit, I don't care. I know Boston's gonna come out and put up that points, man. That's just where I'm at, guys. You guys got to tell me I'm crazy on that one. But when I look in the last three games Boston's touched the court, they've scored 124 points a game and they gave up 112. The Pacers have scored 122.7 and given up 122.7 in the last three times they've touched the court. Just saying, guys. Then when you look situationally, even as a road team going all the way back through the whole year, all the way to this point, right, on the road, Boston averages 116.9 points per game and gives up 108.9 points, right? Whereas the Pacers at home score 124.7 points, okay, and give up 116.9. Now, the reason I go back all the way into the season, coming all the way to now, is because it's not just the playoffs, guys. And yes, teams play better defense in the playoffs. Teams do things certain different, but not the Pacers. Pacers do not do things different. Period. They want to run. They want to gun. They lost game one because of the fact that they couldn't understand how to slow the game down. You know, they played themselves out of the game, and that's the kind of thing that'll happen when you have a team that's so young, like the Pacers. I mean, salute to them for where they're at right now. They do have an opportunity to cover, all right. But for me, I got to play that Boston team total over, and I'm gonna keep locking it in until it don't come through. And then if I'm looking at a player prop, there's a couple player props out there that look interesting. I mean, Pascal, there's points, rebounds that could probably happen. Um, I like Miles Turner. Jalen said at 26 and a half. Yeah, yeah, that's what it's gonna have to be. Then maybe Nimhard over 12 and a half too points. I'm not sure if Jalen Brown, which one's gonna do the scoring out of Tatum and Brown, but yeah, those are places I would be looking at. But I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe. I'm gonna see you at the one. Peace.